what I have planned is like we have two visualization. One is bar and candlestick chart, and the other one is floating bar chart. Both of them it will be just showing year-over-year growth, and we can analyze the trend between the years. We will first try to understand the visualization, then we'll move on to how to make this one. So currently, if you see, we have category and region in view, and this is 19 sales, and this is 20 sales. This tick just shows us the difference, like how much difference. Maybe if you want, we can add the percentage in labels, so we can be able to quantify like how the year-over-year growth in a particular region and category. Next, we have floating bar chart. Here it's like the leftmost is like 2019 sales, and the rightmost is 2020 sales, and the length is nothing but the difference in sales, and it's like by colored. The green are the one which has 2020 sales greater than 2019, and this blue are the one which has least sales compared to 2019. And these are the two visualizations I have for today. We will just see how to make this one. So first we will start with the floating bar chart. Create calculated field. First we want 2019 sales. We ordered it. Is equal to 29 sales. Then
So, Jairam, just explain a little further. What is the goal that we have, in terms of what we are trying to achieve? Just I think it needs to.
So goal here is like we are trying.
Go ahead.
So goal here is trying to visualize the sales year by year, and we are also trying to add the magnitude of difference in the view. So here
Okay.
the goal is like we are showing 29 sales in the by blue color and this one by orange, and we are showing the difference here.
Okay. Got it. And all the difference, whatever the bars, they're all of the same width, right? Or are they different? Is there any difference in the width?
Yeah, width is same. The length just says us how different is.
Length is different, huh? And where are we placing that?
So length for each bar.
We are always placing below, is it?
For
Below
each
both the bars.
Yeah, below both the bars.
Okay, got it.
For a particular category and region, yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, and this is what furniture region. Okay, so that's what you did. Okay. Okay, guys. Any other questions in terms of what we are supposed to achieve in the Viz? Okay, all right. Jairam, please go ahead.
Yeah. And in the next one here, like we have separate bars for 2019 and 2020, and they are just showing the difference separately. But if you see in the other one, the left end is like 2019 and the right end is 2020, and this length of the bar says about the difference. Unlike we have separate bars here showing the difference, and the two bars showing 2019 and 2020, we have all in a single go. Like 2019 sales on the left, 2019 on the right, and the difference is the how difference is the sale year-over-year growth. This is
okay. So that's a different visualization. Okay, great. Okay, awesome. Go ahead, Jairam.
Yeah. So we made 2019 sales as well. Okay, so now we got two metrics, 2020 sales and 2019 sales, and one more thing for difference. That's it. With these three fields, we can just make the 2020 sales minus No.
So the name is
Subcategory.
capitals and case sensitive, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay, interesting. All right.
Subcategory. In 2019 sales, we'll just try to bar. Then we will replace the bar chart to Gantt chart. So now we got the 2019 sales in each. Then we will pull the difference and pull it in the size. Then difference color. Okay, color. So based on the year-over-year growth, now it's just colored. If difference is greater than 0, then it's like showing orange. If the sales is like less than previous year, it's showing like blue. This is a floating bar. Any doubts or shall we move on to the next one? Okay. So here category, then region. The same metrics whichever we used at 2019 sales and 2020. Sales, measure names and measure values will be there. And now, yeah.
No, so basically, you got the difference separately, is it?
Yeah, that's a separate metric. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right. So that's a different metric, but it's supposed to show up in this particular chart, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Please continue.
Okay, we'll color it by measure names. And also currently we are the measure names and measure value we are showing by bars, but the difference we have to show it in Gantt chart. So if we put all three in a measure name, measure value, what happens is these two bars also will change to Gantt chart. So to avoid that, what we will do, separate this 2020 sales copy. We'll just pull it separately on the top. So now we have dual axis and we have separate window for each. So measure values we can change it back to bar, and this one we can change it to Gantt chart.
Okay.
And now if we pull the difference here and reduce the size, we will get the candlestick size and reduce the size so it looks like so. Here the catch is like both should be in different visualization, and we have to do dual axis and also synchronize axis. Yeah. So for the next one, we are using the starting metric as 2020 sales and difference which we calculated earlier. It will just show.
So Jairam, is it possible for us? See, I think maybe the color also we need to change a little bit, because in the other visualization that you showed, whichever has the larger difference, it showed that color.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is one piece. The other piece is that is it possible for us to just show the delta where it is lower? So for example, let me just annotate it here and I'll show it to you. So for example, in this particular case, I'm tackling, just hold on a minute. I hope you are able to see the annotation.
Yeah.
The blue one.
Mm.
So in this one, for example, if it can show here,
Mm.
okay, so that will be a little bit more fun, even with that change in color or something. So similarly, if we were to take this one, right, then you will, if we get it over there, that will be interesting.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe you can just answer that question.
We can maybe just move. Okay, we can't even move it manually.
Chaitanya, do you also mean that we can display the number of the difference, or just the?
We can display the number also if required. But what I meant was that the difference actually shows up where it is smaller, because that way it will be easy for us to place it. So it just like in fact, Swap and I were yesterday discussing with Madhu, the client, about so this is called a waterfall chart. You guys are aware of what's called a waterfall chart?
Yeah.
So I think it basically gives Jairam, can you just Google waterfall chart? Yeah. There you go. So that's a classic waterfall chart. Okay, so basically, I just click on that. Perfect. Any one of them. So if you look at that, so basically, so Jairam, let's see one. Let's see the one on the. Let's stay on one.
Okay.
I just stay on one. Yeah. So if you look at the green, red ones. In fact, if you look at, if you look at the first, I'll annotate it. I think that's a little easier. See, if you have this green one right here, right, and you have the next green one right here, and what's happening? Hold on. Okay, so you have the second green one right here, this one. So the middle one sort of indicates the delta between the first and the third. Okay, so between, you see the difference, this one. Okay, so similarly, you have these, all of these indicate various differences. So in this case, it's not sort of large enough. What is that? So basically, fixed cost, variable costs, COGS, and promotion costs. Okay, and you have the total costs also. So it's basically showing what is called quote unquote waterfall, which is from there to here. What are the various differences and how much is it? Okay, is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So if we now can go back, see right now, the way if we can go to the Viz.
Yeah.
See right now we are showing on the other side, wherever it is larger, we are showing. Actually, if we show it on the side that is shorter, in fact, I think then it will be a little easier. There are some things that you can do with it. Like for example, I mean, so it's clear, na? I think what I'm saying is.
Yeah. So based on the difference, like for this negative 6251, you want it down so it will be easy to observe.
Exactly, that's right. Now we have to see it the other side. Maybe the color is different, etc. Now if it is just sort of close by, and especially if we can make it a little different color than the shorter bar, it will be very easy for us to read it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I have some solution for this. What we can do is just we can break this metric into two, like positive difference and negative difference. So for one, the positive we can place it down, and negative can place it like up as usual. So in that case, we will have two different. We'll try that.
So okay, let's try that. Let's see.
may not work. Yeah, some other issues are there.
Okay, that's fine. All right. So you can maybe try it out and you can show us the next session, Jairam.
Yeah, sure.
That's good. All right. Okay, cool.
Just one question. Does everybody know how to create a waterfall chart and what they're used for? Have you come across it before?
Actually, in the similar use case which we saw, it's like cash flow statements. So that is where we normally use waterfall charts. But oftentimes it happens that if the cash flow statements are too big, for example, they have too many accounts to account for. In that case, waterfall chart it becomes so cluttered that the information is lost. In that cases, you may want to opt out for another. But the cases where we just saw that Jairam shared the images, for those few number of accounts, waterfall charts make sense in the cash flow statements.
I was just asking because I thought I could cover it in one of my sessions in the future. It's actually a very good method to do root cause analysis. RCA. So in my previous company, every day we used to create waterfall charts every day.
You seem to be fed up of it.
Yeah. I know. Actually, the complication in creating waterfall charts is getting to the actual visualization is it's pretty simple, but quantifying the reasons, right? I think that is where the difficult part comes in. Day-to-day business challenges.
Yeah, now that we are on that topic, maybe Jairam can just go to the same Google results. So basically, I think there are like maybe 2 or 3 variants. Yeah. Once this comes up. See, if you look at this, I think let's see what. So the first one is a waterfall chart, Wikipedia result. Let's see. First, let's see. Any one of them, Jairam. Yeah. See, if you look at it here, so maybe Sai, do you want to explain what you're seeing there?
Yeah.
Just in terms of the chart mechanics. Yeah.
Right. See, this is basically, it has 2 levels. Okay. One is where you get from that main column 1 to the middle column, and then second level is where you go from the middle column to the end value, and that is what they have displayed on the top. The journey from main column 1 to middle column goes from 50 to 120, which is an addition of 70 plus 70, and the second part of the journey going from the middle column to the end value is a reduction of 20. That's why they have displayed minus 20. And the yellow bars that you have between the main column 1 and the middle column are basically the reasons which constitute that difference of 70 between the 50 and 120. So for example, you have something like, let's say last month's sales was $50. Okay, this month's sale was $120. So what are the 2 reasons, or what are the 2 categories, or what are the 2 drivers which have contributed to this increase in $70? That is what is displayed by delta 1 and delta 2. Similarly, on the other side of the middle column, we have 3 reasons, delta 3, 4 and 5, which which constitute the difference between the 120 and the 100. So that's why delta 3 could be one reason or one parameter which has increased by 10. Delta 4 could be one more parameter which has increased by 20. And delta 5 is the third parameter which has decreased by 50. So these 3 reasons constitute the difference between the reduction between the 120 and the 100.
So, Jairam, if we can just stay on. So let's see this particular chart. Just highlight that particular chart. So there if you look at it, maybe this is a slightly different one. We don't have an intervening big tower. So maybe Sai, you can just take a quick look at it.
Yeah.
It is also from Wikipedia.
See, so they have product revenue, services revenue, and I think what they are showing is the profit at the end, $320,000. So you have revenue from 2 sources, one from products and the other from services. Okay, but when you are actually talking about the income statement, you at the bottom of the income statement, you actually show what is called as the net income or the profit, right? So how do you get from revenue to profit? So that's why that's what the reduction comes in the form of costs, right? Costs are of two types: fixed costs and variable costs. So basically what you do is when you calculate the profit from the revenue, you have the total revenue from which you subtract the total costs. So that's what they have done here. So you have a total revenue which is constituting the products revenue plus services revenue, and from this total revenue, the $320,000 is the profit, and the difference between what is that 420 plus 210, 630 and the 320, that difference is being shown as two types or two reasons for the difference: fixed costs and variable costs. That's why they have reduced the costs from the revenue.
Yeah. So if we Jairam, so nice one, Sai. So let's highlight this one, that particular chart. So here the chart is a little different. So see, if you look at it, there are multiple. So basically, and this is going from start to end, and you have January. Okay, actually starting there is some quantum. So starting there is some quantum here, and at the end of December there is another quantum. Okay, this is more like the cash flow that Jagadish was talking about, right? So basically, if you have, I know you guys are all familiar with your bank statement, right? You have X amount in the beginning, right? So let's say there are some credits, and then you spend some amount. So at the end there is another balance. So this is that kind of example. Okay. But what's happening is that during this particular period, that you can see January to all the way till December, there are, for lack of a better term, fluctuations. There are changes that are happening throughout the period and leading to either positive or negative. And also please note that it is in that particular order, right? So January, February comes after January, March comes after February, and so on and so forth. So there is a particular order, and it has either a positive or a negative. So they have also given the orange color versus the blue color right there, right? So I would assume blue is positive and orange is negative, so it's sort of going down. So they have displayed all of this in sequence one by one. Okay, this is another variant of the waterfall chart. If you look at the next one, any questions on this one before we go to the next one? Yeah, let's. Okay, I think that's probably self-explanatory. So if you look at this one, this is slightly different. Let's see what it is. This is called information. So grand total. Oh, this is a little different. So you have running total of the profit. Okay, and then you have Jan, Feb, all the way till December. So there are three constituents. What are these constituents? Can anybody see the legend?
If I'm not wrong, this was built on order sample superstore data. It looks like that. I don't know.
It's like maybe categories.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is on Tableau.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. Okay.
Yeah, it's
so whatever
across
it is,
segment. Yeah.
across. So, but it is across. It's the same thing, is it? Oh, okay, that's interesting. All right.
I think basically it's like they have combined three waterfall charts into one, and for each of the categories they have shown it as the color.
Yeah, this is a beautiful chart that way. See, what they are doing is so January to December, they are also showing not only the waterfall but the split in waterfall for each of the months, and adding up to the total. I think this is so not only can we use this for months, but also you can also use this for, let's say, multiple categories of reasons, and within those you have like variant 1, variant 2, variant 3 of the reasons. This is a very beautiful chart to use, right? In fact, it's a very difficult chart for us to lay our hands on. Do you get what I'm saying? So let me just maybe I'm not sure if it is clear. So see, so you have January, February, March, etc., all the way going till the end, right? So that's very clear, right? So here in each of these, let's say I'm highlighting just one of those, let's say September, there are like multiple reasons, right? So the multiple reasons are adding up to a total reason, okay? And so that is how each of the others are. You can either have Jan, Feb, March, or you can have a different type of a reason. An example of this would be, let's say, variable cost 1, variable cost 2, variable cost 3, right? But all 3 variable costs together are variable costs, right? So for example, all of that would go into this particular one. Let's assume that is one category. You can actually have X number of categories like that, and still visually showing this whole adding up to the total, which is the waterfall piece of it. I think that is also still maintained, right? So you can clearly see that, see from here, this whole thing is adding up to the total, which is this one, right? So you see this? There are just too many lines at this point. But see, if you look at this, right, the totals are all adding up to this particular thing. And here, what they have done is they have added by category, they have added the various causes. So I think this is a beautiful chart for us to, visually it is a little, at least it opens up a new door in the mind as to how you can visualize this information. Yeah, okay. Any questions on this? Okay. Folks, anyone?
No questions.
Okay, no questions. Okay. So,
just one thing, if there
yeah,
are
yes.
negative values of how we can represent in this type of structure.
So that's a great question, Swap. I think so. Basically, typically what happens is, if you go something, hold on a minute. If you have something like this, it sort of goes up, right? So typically in waterfall chart, it actually comes down. Okay. So I would assume in this particular case, so for example, so this particular one, right? So what happens is, it actually went from going from the previous one, it goes up, right? Are you seeing what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Right. So in that particular case, what happens is this would actually come down, okay? And the next chart will actually take off where this has ended. So for example, this has ended right here, for example. Then the next one will go from here like this.
It will start from its peak.
Correct. So wherever, if you look at it, everywhere, it is starting from the previous peak.
Okay.
Right? If it's starting from the previous peak. So wherever the previous one leaves off, that is where the next one starts off. Okay? Except when it is negative, it will start off from the peak, but instead of going up, it will actually go down. Okay? So that is how the immediate set of the next ones will be. I think we saw that previously, right? So maybe Jairam, if you can go to one of the Google results again. So if you look at this, so let's take this is a good example. Yeah, this is a good example. See, you can see this. So product revenue, and then you have services revenue. So services revenue has picked up where product revenue has left off, and it goes up. Okay, but that is revenue. The next one is a cost. So it sort of begins where it has started, but it actually goes down. And the next one is also negative. So it starts off where it is negative, and it sort of goes down, where the previous one has left off, and it goes down further from that. Okay. But the last one is actually profit. Profit is the leftover, right? And because it's the leftover, it sort of starts from where the previous one left off, and it goes all the way till 0. Okay, because that's the leftover. Okay, no? I think similarly we can do that over here. So just like, I think, once again, you can take this one example also, Jairam. Yeah. So same here. See, wherever there is negative, you will see that the negative picks up where the previous one has left off the bottom and goes further down from there. Okay. But if it is positive, the blue one, see, look at this one. Blue one picks up where the sort of the bottom, and then it adds from there. It sort of goes from here, it goes above.
Yeah.
Yeah, these are the general mechanics of this kind of thing. So Jairam, what we'll do is, just to make sure for us to cover various charts, if you can just scroll down a little bit, and we'll see if there are any other charts that are unique that we would like to see. Just scroll down a bit. Jerem, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, should I further scroll down? Yeah.
Yeah, just scroll down, just slowly scroll down. We'll see if there are any other variants of the charts that we can learn from, and then if not, we will just yeah. Okay. All right. Anything you guys see, folks? Any new variants? This one is interesting. Look at this particular one. Where is that? There was one interesting one.
Should I scroll up?
Maybe, yeah, you can scroll up. I just thought I saw something interesting. Yeah, okay, I think it's this one, yes. This one, just highlight that one, please. I think it's a minor variant, it's not a big deal, it's just a minor variant. Yeah, there you go. So again, sort of lots of greens. So you have January, February, but for some reason January, so there is a March actually, I'm not sure what it is. So here, these two are beginning from the same line, but as sort of times go, you have it sort of going up, and then you have the reds coming in. There is a streak of reds, and towards the end there is green, right? But in every place it is basically taking the same route, which is every time it sort of keeps going up, and then after that it sort of keeps going down. And then at the end there is a green again. Yeah. Okay, I think we probably covered whatever we could see. Okay. All